Sarah has served as a bridge between the city of New York and the Muslim community for many years. She is a senior advisor in the Community Affairs Unit for New York City Mayor de Blasio. She has been an essential link between the mayor's office and community in resolving many civil liberties issues regarding the targeting of Muslims in New York. Prior to the mayor's office, Sarah worked for 7 years at the Interfaith Center of New York as the director of community partnerships. In this capacity, she designed and executed the Rabbi Marshall T. Meyer Retreats for Social Justice, a biannual conference that brings together New York's diverse grassroots religious leaders with secular and city agencies. Between 2010 and 2015, she also worked to bring together Catholic and Muslim social service providers in providing dialogue and joint action. And let's give her a great round of applause for receiving this MPAC award.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Thank you so much to Salam and the entire MPAC family. Thank you, Congressmember Liu, and congratulations to Romana. It's truly an honor to be here with all of you, and on a day when we are marking the birthday of our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This award, more than recognizing me, is an affirmation that we are building beautiful connections in New York City between the city and Muslim New Yorkers. Building a bridge, the theme of this conference, is only needed when there are two land masses that want that connection, that want to be connected. So I want to credit New York City Muslim communities on the one hand, and Mayor Bill de Blasio on the other, for your openness to engagement and stronger relationships. Without that desire, I would not be here, and there would be no bridge. A bridge, also, as we know, has two anchors or end bearings. I'm grateful to God that I have my faith and spirituality as one of those anchors. I'm also grateful to my family, who have gotten used to not seeing me very often, but they offer their unconditional love and nurturing. Thank you. In my first week on the job as senior advisor, and this was back in June of 2015, I got a call from the office of the chief medical examiner. They wanted my help to develop more culturally responsive services for Muslims in New York City. For those who don't know, the CME office handles autopsies, which are legally required in the event of criminal or unexpected death. They knew in the ME office that the Islamic rule is burial within 24 hours, and we have a religious objection to autopsy. The ME had dealt with a family who were objecting to the autopsy, and it ended up delaying the burial because they all had to negotiate. Lawyers got involved, and as we know, when lawyers get involved, things take a long time. So they were calling me because they wanted to avoid having to go through that in cases where families were objecting, if possible. So we've been working together to create a system and a process that would counsel families who object, and it would also educate the ME offices, hospitals, and precincts on Muslim burial laws. This kind of effort at the local level is a crucial effort that we need to engage in that allows us to align our values and Islamic guidelines with secular law. But what's challenging about doing this kind of work is that we're doing it in a charged national security backdrop. So part of my job is to get better at rapid response and to help build trust between law enforcement and New York City communities, and to create policies and programs that respect civil rights and safeguard the city. And as we know, terrorist violence feeds a dark rhetoric about Islam and Muslims, and this has ultimately resulted in backlash that has targeted Arabs, Muslims, Sikhs, anyone who looks Muslim. Through public safety and know your rights forums, we've been educating New Yorkers about their rights to identity safety, protection from discrimination, and their rights as immigrants. But as we engage on issues of security and safety, We have to remember that Muslims, more than victims and terrorists, are first and foremost human beings. Stories like the one I just shared about the medical examiner are not about national security, and they're not about backlash. Muslims have stories about living their lives as everyday New Yorkers, as everyday Americans. And that's the story that I'm most interested in and that I think we need to work together to uplift. Stories that are about us as human beings. Stories about our giving birth, growing up, growing old, and dying. Stories about our struggles to help make ends meet, to pay the rent. Stories about how we are giving back, reaching out, and building bridges. Salam asked me to talk about what is redeeming in my work, and I would say it's moments like the one I talked about, meeting with the chief medical examiner, bringing together South Asian, Arab, African business owners to discuss fair contracting policies in the city, finding ways to work together with the city on domestic violence, working together to feed the homeless. These are the stories that showcase who we are in our fullness, in our humanity, and our dignity. I am so grateful to have this opportunity to do this work on behalf of Muslim New Yorkers and Muslim Americans and Muslims worldwide in one of the biggest, and I won't say the best, but maybe I'll say the best cities in the world, and to work for Mayor Bill de Blasio, who is one of the most progressive and visionary leaders today. Thank you again to MPAC for recognizing me and for recognizing New York City with this Changemaker Award. Assalamu alaikum.